Alright. In the top right, we have Technics as the red Zerg. And in the bottom left, we have Sneazel as the teal Protoss. And when I saw the round robin come out, this was the game that I was most excited about, based based a lot because of their very, very good series earlier in this, earlier in the ISL during the qualifier stage, where Technics was barely able to edge out Sneazel 3-2. But also because Sneazel, quite probably the best foreigner PvZ, versus Technics, who crushed Gotunk and crushed Astro, and looked just about invincible doing so. So this should be good.
Oh, I nearly died, but okay.
I'm glad you did not die.
Yep. So I don't remember the games in the group stage, or when they played in the qualifier. I mean,
They were in the qualifier. In Technics,
yeah.
as almost a precursor to the style that he was using versus Astro and Gotunk, he was going for either a very late Spire or no Spire at all. And going for 6-hatch Hydralisk, but not necessarily using it just to try to bust Sneazel, using it just to have a big army, and then kind of expand behind it and whatnot. It was a really cool way of playing. Anyway, Technics has already thrown down his pool. Pools will be done very soon, and trying to throw down an expansion, but already Manor Pylon. So, Technics, it looks like he's going to take the closer third, as I would expect. It really wasn't his strategy last time to try to go for a turtle style. He was really keen on building lots and lots of Hydralisks, and we've seen from him before that he's done, that's what he's been doing, and wow. Sneazel nearly losing the probe, but cancels one pylon and starts another one just for maximum delay time. Although I think that next one will be forced to be cancelled before he gets 300 minerals anyway, unless he just lets it finish. Then it was kind of a waste of cancelling the first one. No, he does. So that's 25 minerals lost, possibly unnecessarily, but it's fine. Certainly going to have Zealots out. Looks like he went Gateway first. Gateway first can be a little bit risky, especially against pool first builds like we saw from Technics. Just because if you don't have your Zealots in the absolute correct position, it's really easy to get a run by. But if you don't get immediately run by it, it's definitely better in the long term, because you'll have a couple of extra Zealots out, a couple of extra Zealots more than you normally would, and that +1 timing attack becomes exponentially more powerful with extra Zealots added in. And Technics will finally get to the base and see that there is a very tight wall, tight between the forge and the gateway, tight on the bottom. So, Baku, any insight on PvZ on Jade?
I just had to explain why I lost in Defiler. Technics goes for 3-hatch Spire on close bases. Is that really Technics? Yeah. I didn't really pay attention to the game until now, and my experience on Jade is non-existent, especially on CVP, because my style more or less hits a brick wall. So I can't really tell much about it. If you take a close third base on Jade, against cross position Protoss it's still okay, but against a close position it's pretty hard to get a fourth base going. So I think Technics will try to go for some Hydra Bust or something more mid-game centered and not going for late game. And if Snitzel plays it pretty nice. I see it already because he goes for +1 speed seals, yeah. And technics, did he scout it? I don't think so because based on how the... Did he scout Snitzel's base? I
Nope.
don't. Then he's in trouble.
Indeed. Technics does in fact get a Spire, and Snitzel, as we can see, has no Stargate. So this attack is going to be all the stronger because he is just getting out that speed upgrade as fast as possible. It looks like it might just hit before Mutalisks, if in fact Technics is going for Mutalisks, and if he's not going for Mutalisks, he really will have very little to stand up against. What was that? Just sniping this Dragoon that wandered out there.
I'm a little bit surprised that Snitzel is only going for a 2-gate seal attack and sort of follows it up with Stargate, which is good against some kind of late Mutalisk transition. But yeah, he won't have that many seals to begin with. It's still a good amount. Will be 8.
Yeah, I'm surprised he built the Dragoon at all. Just because I guess he was just looking for an Overlord snipe to supply block his opponent and to ensure that there was no scouting for when the Zealots came out, but it's just gonna... It means that that's one, maybe even 2 less Zealots that he can get out. And there is a single... Okay, there are now more than 1 Mutalisk on the way. But not a whole lot. At the same time, Snitzel doesn't have too much to defend. It's going to be just up to cannons, really, as this is going to be the first Corsair out. And speed is done. Snitzel actually waiting a little bit longer before actually moving out. Instead of moving out with slow loss, then it becomes speed loss on the way. Actually just going to wait until speed finishes before making the first move. But they're going to run headlong into the Mutalisks. He had scouting Zerglings in position to see where they would be. And I thought the Mutalisks would be a little bit slower. I thought the Zealots would actually be a little bit faster out. So, is Technics going to be able to defend this properly? He sent his Zealots out in different directions. I don't think he didn't know where the third base was, so 4 of them went to the left side.
Technics' third gas is mannered extremely.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Awesome.
That's the best manner sunken I've ever seen.
Indeed. Good stuff. So, Neil's coming back in now. There is...
I need a break right now.
There is only 1 cannon in the main, and the second one has just been started, so it's going to be up to the Corsairs to use that cannon in conjunction. Try to hold these off. Snitzel actually has a surprising number of goons out.
Oh god.
I don't like that decision. Technic's already shown a pretty big number of Zerglings out, and you lost a good number of your early Zealots. You don't have the Zealot numbers to really support the Dragoons anymore.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm surprised Technics handled it more or less perfectly against that seal aggression, and it depends now on what Snitzel can do with that attack if he doesn't lose all his Corsairs to Scourgies, so it's still okay. He tries to attack the SimCity right now, but this one sunken should be out far enough. Oh, he goes for it?
Yeah, this might... No, it's not going to work. There are too many Mutalisks circling in the back. It looked promising for a second there, just against the defenses, because it's hard to SimCity that properly, so the Zealots were able to get in really easily. But Technics was just able to have so many Mutalisks out on the field, so many Zerglings out, that it It was an ill decision from sneazel to try to go for it there. Or to try to go for that kind of an attack and just immediate follow-up with no kind of Templar attack. Well, armor upgrade on the way for sneazel. Getting more cannons. He needs more cannons to hold off these mutalisks, but the natural is looking very vulnerable. Technics has so many out, it looks like he can do a lot of damage.
I'm wondering why Technics isn't trying to harass, or
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe scout him. Just waiting for Snitzel to make his next move. But he makes more mutalisks and Scourge and upgrades. Oh, armor upgrade just finished, and now he makes attack upgrade for mutalisks. So this will be some muta only play.
yeah, which is a bit weird. I'm curious if he's gonna go. No, that doesn't. Yeah, I don't know how exactly he's gonna play this. Snitzel, though, very likely won't be able to do too much against it. He only now has Templars out, not enough energy for Storm, and Storm is not even halfway done yet. There's not a good number of Corsairs. They don't have +1. These Mutalisks are just going to be so strong as long as he doesn't make huge mistakes and they get clumped up and die all as one pack. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Just the cannons are falling so fast. All the cannons are down, probes being pulled, and units can come back and defend, but there's just not enough. The Templar can come
Storm
back.
it.
Storm's not done. Storm's only
Storm it.
85% done.
But you should storm it.
Technics backed up there. He saw the Templar and just wanted to retreat. He didn't realize that he could have easily picked him off and pretty much won the game immediately. If he had done that, then just A-move Mutalisks. And alright, so Burrow's on the way from Technics, along with a Queen's Nest.
And more mutas.
And more Mutalisks. He's building more Mutalisks while getting a Queen's Nest, so Guardian play?
Well,
Versus-
maybe he wants to get more upgrades for his mutas.
It's possible. It's a little bit preemptive, because he still needs to get one attack, and then 2 attack, and then 2 armor.
Yeah. That's a lot of Thunkins all together.
Yep. Technics starting to extend to the creep. Eventually they will meet in the middle. Technics does like sunken colonies a lot. As long as they're not mannering his gas.
So the mutas will now go for a counter, and I predict that Snitzel will go attack. Because he's just so far away from the base, so that counter will cost more or less his whole base. He can't go back to defend that. Except he makes 1-2 nice storms, but... Ooh!
Very good storms going down, but there's still a control group of Mutalisks left. And Technics not even controlling him well, doesn't pull back the one that's attacking a cannon. It's fine. All the probes have been pulled.
Oh, that storm.
Going in, trying to do damage here. There are a lot of Zerglings out. Crack is not done. His Hive, I'm not even sure if the Hive is done. It might have just finished now, but there's just not enough units
Got
on
so
Snitzel
many
here.
links.
Yeah, that is a lot of Lings. They do have 1-1. Okay, Hive is not done. And Ling's even coming from the back to attack the Dragoons. These Mutalisks are still doing damage here. They've already taken out the Nexus. They're now starting to work on the tech structures. Even ignoring a Corsair because they can.
And the mutas are still wrecking havoc. Even though a seal and a DT managed to kill top left base, he just has no way to win that.
Yep. We'll be coming over to clear out the Zealot though. Doesn't see the DT. And the Munists do back off eventually, but they've taken out the Templar Tech, taken out the Nexus, and sneazel is, I guess you would consider it all in, almost attacked. I mean, normally you have a pretty strong attack when you say somebody's all in, but it's just a handful of goons and zealots. There's a nice good number of Corsairs though. They have +1. That's a start to something, but there's too many lings. Still no crack?
About to finish.
About to finish? Okay.
But yeah, it's just too many.
In Greater Spire, about 40% done. I question whether we'll actually be able to see the Greater Spire. Because if Technics attacks with those lings, I don't think sneazel can hold. It doesn't have any Templar for Storm. Yeah, it would be close. Just now rebuilding his main Nexus, and GG from sneazel.
GG.
Technics and sneazel are now both 1-1 in these tiebreakers. Alright. So, next game will be Project versus Technics. We're gonna see a TBZ. Project is down 0-2. Or 0-2. As he's lost to both of his other opponents, so needs to win this one to have a chance to not be last. If he loses this, he is guaranteed for last, and the game is up.
Yeah, 1 second. So Technics is 1-1 right now?
Technics is 1-1. Lost to Michael, beat sneazel.
And the game already started.
No, it hasn't. I'll rehost. Same name and password, but just add a 1 to the game name.
Yes. Coming.
Oh, nope. That's when I
Coming.
forgot to hope the replay. Dang it, I hadn't done that in a while. Alright, hosted. So we haven't had a good chance to see Technics versus Terran. As you can see, it's the matchup he plays the least in ISL. Just 1 win over TTF in the qualifiers. So we really don't have a good idea of exactly his propensity for this matchup. Interesting. Project, obviously we've seen a lot of his... excuse me, we've seen a lot...
Black Hawk down.
For you? I don't see anything in the
No,
chat.
I still see hear the chopper right now.
Right.
But yeah, actually, I really want to see this game right now because Project against Technics on Heartbreak Ridge is really gonna be fun.
Yep. Apparently Project doesn't play Brood anymore.
Shame on you.
I thought that Project didn't play much Brood War anymore, and he says he doesn't play a lot of Brood War anymore, but he actually plays in like a lot of optional tournaments. Like he plays in all the Defiler tours, like the past 4 of them, or however many since they've recently come back. And if you don't play a lot of Brood War, I don't know why you play in the Defiler tours. You have to beat a lot of good people to be able to get any money in the Defiler tour. Anyway, Technics with
Circling Overlord.
Yeah. He's scouting up in this direction, looking for a proxy here, then thought about going home, then thought about going to Technics base, then thought about going home again, settled on going and checking a further proxy location, a little bit farther up. Technics has thrown down his hatchery. It looks like a 12 hatch from him. Project is not proxying, in fact, just building a normally timed barracks. And a fast gas from him. Which Project really does favor the fast gas builds. That's pretty much what we've seen from him. If you watch his stream a lot or seen a lot of his recent games, either mech or +1 eBay. And even though he has a lot of money, it still could be either of those, because it could also just be a fast expansion as well off of one gas, which is a little bit more uncommon for him to get the gas that early. Oh, nope, there's the factory. So it is going to be a very quick factory from Project.
And he keeps getting gas, so it could be more one base heavy, I would say.
Yeah, it's... If he was just going to go for a really fast siege tank, which doesn't make much sense to begin with, he doesn't need as much gas as he's getting. So it looks like he's gearing up for some kind of Wraith play, most likely. Possibly dropship, but most likely Wraith. Project does, though, really like his Vulture play. It's something he does very well. He has very good Vulture micro, and is always finding new and unique ways to get Vultures in your base, killing your drones. So, even though while it would look more like Wraith... Okay, well, there's a second star port. So never mind, it won't be some kind of weird drop. In fact, it is 2-port Wraith. And what is Technics going to do in response? He has thrown down the third hatchery. Technics has no idea about this. If he had a drone on the outside, he could do what Zeki was doing versus Vivian, in seeing the lack of marine production as a good indicator that something weird is going on. He did see the Vulture, though. So now that he knows mech's on the way, he should be throwing down a Hydralisk den. Most likely, if nothing else, to defend against the Lurkers, and he just canceled his lair. Now, he canceled his lair because he wants that Hydralisk den immediately. That's going to severely delay the Mutalisks to the point where he might actually not even be going for Mutalisks anymore, and just completely change his mind going for a pure Hydralisk force. Which is quite possibly an overreaction. Oh, control tower down for Project. And starting Wraiths on both of them. We'll be able to get the cloak relatively soon, but want to get the Wraiths out first so they have a little bit more energy. And then start it when you have enough money for that afterwards. And yes, Technics is in fact getting Hydralisk range. That's
good against 2-port.
Yeah, it is.
But... Oh yeah, there's 2-port. I was distracted by the chat because I had to interact with it, so I couldn't pay attention to the game.
What the?
But yeah, Technics is playing with a late lair. Got out Hydras earlier, so he should be good against the 2-port. The problem is when Cloak finishes.
I saw you typing in the chat, but I didn't have a chance to actually read it. Now I get a chance to look over. It's something about horse videos?
It's about IC Cup's maintenance video on the site. It's the look on my horse.
Oh.
This is amazing.
That was
Answer.
that was not what I thought. That's not what I thought you were talking about when you said horse videos. Alright. So, 3 Wraiths out now. 4th one soon to follow. And yeah, that Hydros range really does make it difficult for them to get too much. They might be able to come back. Oh boy. We gonna have an argument about whose static it is?
It's yours.
Okay. Viewers, there is always static when I chat with Baku, because Baku does not have a terribly good mic. If this static is worse than normal, then it is me. But if you remember like last week's cast and you think it's a relatively same level of static as there was before, it's still Baku. And I can't say anything more than that. Mistake from Technics, allowing that Overlord to be so far forward when he knew that Wraiths were around. And now, trying hard to get a shot off, but that invisibility and the fact that they don't have sight range up on the top until the Overlord's coming over anyway, making it pretty difficult. Project losing a Wraith? Ugh. No.
Oh god.
Mistake from Project there, losing one of his Wraiths and then almost losing another one. And now we're transitioning into some kind of weird one base, 3 racks and tank attack.
It's standard. Anyway, I'm more surprised that Technics isn't getting overload speed, but instead a faster Spire. Normally you would get overload speed in order to overload speed and Spire in order to put on pressure with Mutalisks, or put on pressure in general. Or at least being able to move your overlords faster than at the path of a snail. The pace of a snail, yeah.
Well, Technics invested all of his money into Mutalisks. He has a lot of them coming out, but as you said, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot of offense with them until Overlord Speed finishes, and Overlord Speed hasn't even been started yet. So I don't know what he intends to actually do with his Mutalisks. Unless he just has absolutely fantastic Mutalisk micro and can delay taking too much fire from the Wraiths until their energy wears down, but that's kind of ridiculous. I guess he killed off a lot of Project's Wraiths and he didn't see Project reinforcing, so he could be taking a gamble here and thinking that maybe Project just isn't going to continue Wraith reduction, something that he clearly had, so you can see a bunch of Wraiths out in the middle of the map.
Well, mid-game Mutalisk transition is quite good because Project can't stay forever on making Wraith. He needs to go back into M&M or else Hydras will just shred through the waves. So even if Technics just has a small amount of Hydras and switches back to Mutalisks, he could out-micro it, theoretically. And also, Project has no turrets in his main, so he could abuse that also. And no eBay making anything. Not even eBay, so if Technics manages to kill the Wraith with his Scourge, which just fly past M&M, then his Mutalisks are good to Harris.
Yeah, Technics finally getting the Overlord speed is just about to finish up now. And Lurker upgrade on the way. I don't know, Project seems kind of hesitant to make a move for good reason. He's still only on one base, so if he loses this, it's going to be very hard to remake an army. He's now getting another command center, so he'll finally be able to expand after he only has about a third of his minerals left in his main. Science facility under construction as well, so that'll be out in a reasonable time compared to the Lurkers, which Lurker upgrade about 70% done. Now, where... Oh, there are the tanks. Tanks getting a bit separated away from the army. And Project just seems to be darting back and forth, losing his Vulture.
Now Technics is finally going out of his Mutalisks because of his late overload speed, but it's too late right now. The attack is already starting, it's already hitting his natural, and he has Hydras out for a good flank, so
Yep.
let's see what he will do. He's supply blocked right now, so no more Lurkers, and just lost some Mutalisks. Tank, siege! Siege! Not die to sunken. Siege!
Project's going to be able to get the best position he could hope for here, pressing his siege tanks up against a wall, so that when the flank comes in, it's not even getting really much of a surround, it's just kind of linking with anything he brings from the natural. And Technics has lost a lot of Mutalisks unnecessarily so far, has not had the best of Mutalisk micro. As these Sunkens go down, 2 of them down, only 2 remain.
But he could use his Mutalisks more because Project only has 3 base right now, so it's only the M1M which really do the damage, so he could try to use them.
Lurker's coming forward.
But
He's
now-
going to lose 2 of them immediately. Oh, third one goes
Oh.
down, but now he's finally getting into the
Oh, God.
attack he needs. And there are just so many units for Technics here. He's going to be able to take it anyway. The Wraiths have cloaked, so they can do a little bit of damage behind that. But Technics, he took a lot of losses there, but at the same time, he just had so many units, it doesn't matter. He's going to be able to crush Project's push.
It was a little bit tricky for Project because when the lurker from the natural borrowed, he took part of his M1M and moved them downwards right into the Hydras of Technics, so they just died instantly, and that was why he lost a good amount of his M1M force and got completely crushed in that attack.
Project has actually had a great engagement afterwards. There was a handful of Marines and 1 tank, but because Technics didn't realize it, he ended up losing all of his Mutalisks and 3 Lurkers and some Hydralisks to them, just because he wasn't expecting for there to be a tank so far forward.
Overlord goes down.
And now Project building double bunkers just to try to defend against the bust, but losing those units to the losing those units to the tank in the middle of the map actually takes away any chance of that. If he had those extra 10 units, about 10 units, it's possible. It still would be pretty risky though. Though Technics has expanded, he mined out his back mineral so he can safely transfer drones from that direction. And nope, that's another evolution chamber. So Technics with the dual evo chambers. Not looking like he's gonna go to Hive anytime soon. Oh wait, excuse me, he already has Hive. There's a Defiler Mount. Because he didn't have any Hive tech, but Defiler Mount just starting. Project. Well, he did manage to get up his natural, which was absolutely necessary, but he's going to find himself on 1 mining base once again very soon. Switching into vessel production now. He already had 1 or 2 out. Ugh. Alright. Well, Consume started for Technics, and he should probably try to wait for Consume to finish before he makes any really big engagements. Project doesn't have his army very far forward, so Technics really isn't scared of it doing much damage. By the time it gets anywhere, assuming that it just doesn't sprint to a location, Consume will be done and Defilers will be in place. Although Technics is still continuing to produce Hydralisks, and I would refer back to what I was saying in Zeki's game on Destination, that Hydralisk Defiler can be a very risky combination to try to use, especially when Project has transitioned into mostly Marines.
I think the problem about Zeki against BBN on Destination was that Zeki stayed a little bit too long on Hydras as support units, because even though he had 4 gas, he really needed more gas. He only had like 3 lurker and 1 vessel all the time, 1 defiler all the time. But those lurkers here should be in time if they finally burrow. Oh, even a swarm to back it up. That will be brutal for Project.
And the couple of links that are in there is really preventing the Marines from sticking around, even if they wanted to. Means that the Hydralisks can get to a good position, and now they will all be under the swarm, so Project can be forced back. He lost a lot of Marines there, even though he started out pretty well for him because Technics was a little bit too aggressive with his lurkers. He still managed to pick off a lot of Marines in the end. Almost sniping an Overlord as well, not quite. And Project getting his 2nd engineering base, so he is in fact committing to to the bio army. He's not gonna go for a mech transition, which I think is what would be expected from him. Meanwhile, Technics taking secret.
He doesn't really have the money to go for a mech transition because he now only has his natural, and he is still only on 5 racks. Normally, you would see Terran go on 8 or even 9 racks if they keep on SK Terran style, for example.
Technics
Ooh,
with a pretty scary force down here.
Oh!
Nice plague hitting all the science vessels.
Not a plague, please.
It would be pretty good, but instead throwing down some swarms, giving his lurkers a chance to advance. And Project just backing off, trying to stay out of range of the swarm. Lurker getting a little bit too far forward? Is it? No. It looks like Project's going to abandon that one tank out there, just get back with the rest of his M&M. But losing some of those vessels against the Hydralisk component, Plague Science vessels are far more dangerous. Oh, and a huge Plague now going down. It's going to be very easy for the Hydralisk to pick off all the Marines. Oh, and that is absolutely brutal. Technics is going to be able to crush that fight. And really now, even if Projects does discover this upper left-hand expansion, there's nothing he can do about it just because he has no map presence. And he's only on one mining base, so it's really hard for him to get more units out. He's now transferring down to this bottom expo, but whether he can actually defend that expo properly with not a huge force, yet to be seen. You got a double drop going down, the Scourge. Oh, he caught it. Oh. He hit it with one Scourge. But the partner Scourge just wasn't close enough. So he knew it was coming, but wasn't actually able to kill it off. He's going to go for the Hydralisk Den snipe first. I'm surprised. I thought he'd go for the Evo Chamber, trying to stop those upgrades. I don't know if he realized that they actually are both upgrading. And it is going to be more ranged attack upgrades. That's worth pointing out. A little bit surprising that he's just committing so heavily to these Hydralisks. But the Hydralisk Den goes down. Armor upgrade goes down. He might not be able to get that plus 2 attack, though.
But a nice distraction attack at the same time to the top bases, I would say. But he's out in the open and medics are leading.
It's fine, man. It's fine.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Move command into a group of links without medic support. So, okay, that was really bad for Project. That was horrible. It looked really good because he went out 2 directions and now it just got shut down. But there's a drop, 2 drop ships drop at the top left base.
No medics with it, but the medics aren't going to be necessary. It looks like... Well, here comes the Zerg force now. He's lost the Suction Colony. He's going to lose all of the drones. All of the drones. Not all the drones. Oh! But he cast the Swarm on top of the Marines, and the Marines actually use it to kill off the rest of the Hydralisks. But the Lurkers are going to be able to kill off those Marines. All but one of the drones. Still, lots of damage done with that drop. A good follow-up. And now he has a huge Science Vessel cloud. Still, a lot of them are plagued though. Needs to be careful to keep them away from the Hydralisk, but still, if it's a good enough size to do a lot of things.
1 Ultralisk and 2 Hydras are attacking the bottom expansion. The Ultralisk now go down, but the M&M force with a good amount of vessels is still irradiating, and yeah.
Looks like Project's a little bit distracted by what's going on at the top. Huge there. All the Marines were distracted by the Hydralisk, getting a lot of damage done. And now these 3 units have 14, 15 SCV kills? Yeah, 15 SCV kills, or at least 15 kills. I assume they're all SCVs.
Nice plague. Nice plague.
Another good plague from Technics, hitting all those Marines, really softening them up. And plague works very well with the Hydralisks.
Really nice plagues this game.
Yeah. 2 Lurkers going to make it so that those Marines cannot do anything, because they'll all instantly die. Only 1 was irradiated, though. This one's still fine. And it's tempting to go after just a sole Lurker when you have that many Marines, but it would be a mistake, just because the Lurker would be able to do so much damage to him. And now reinforcements coming from the back. Technics is going to clean up all those units.
But Technics is gonna lose the bottom right expansion to handful M&M. So this game still looks kinda even for like 10 minutes.
Pretty much. Both players just trading blow for blow. Neither player really able to establish terribly good economies. Technics is on 4 bases, though, as this base didn't quite fall. He did lose all the drones, which certainly hampered mining, but not completely stopping it.
But he doesn't really have that many drones. Okay, the natural has some, but the third base is just the minimum. And not even that.
Ultralists are now out for Technics.
But still slow.
Excuse me. Yep. Where is... I'm looking for the cavern to see their upgrades. There it is, in the 3rd. Doesn't look like... No, okay. Speed
Oh,
just
man, if
started
you
when I said that.
If you start to yawn, I also need to yawn.
Well, more SCVs being brought up to try to replace some of the ones that were lost.
Elevator into the main. But look out, well, move! Oh god.
Oh man, no medic there either. So Project loses 5 Marines just standing there taking lurker shots.
And that's a big amount of Ultralist.
And oh, scourging a dropship full of Marines. And those 2 Marines that were left taken out by that Ultralist. Yeah, neither player really seems able to get much of an advantage, because every time that they can do something really good and take out a base or do economic harass, the other player comes right back around and does similar damage. Technics, though, does have a really strong army.
I think if Technics attacks now, he's in an extremely good position to win this, because Project shouldn't let Technics attack that way. He should irradiate now everything inside, and he should have done that earlier, closer to Technics base, and not lose all medics for nothing.
Plague going down, hitting some of the science vessels and an Ultralisk. And there are no Zerglings left. It is just Ultralisk to attack. Technics needs to pull back. He doesn't have the gas to really support this. But the irradiates, there are so many science vessels that actually he's lost a lot of Ultralisks without even engaging his opponent. He finally now is going to get Ultralisks into his opponent's base. Is that siege tank? Oh, they're the siege tanks that are shooting at that Ultralisk, doing splash damage on their own SCVs, though. It looks like the Ultralisk is just hold position, trying to do irradiate splash on the SCVs. And Project trying to take a very ambitious center expansion at the mineral only. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold it, but he finds himself once again mining on only a single base at bottom left. Single Ultralisk leading, with more Hydralisks and Zerglings behind. Didn't see a Defiler though, so this might actually be kind of hard to deal with that level of Marines.
I'm surprised I only see 1, 2... Oh god, this god.
So many vessels go down. Those were all the plague vessels, so every Scourge was getting a kill there. A lot of damage done, although those Marines are able to kill off the Zerglings, which was threatening the mineral only. We'll see how long they can keep it protected.
Really low number of Ultralisks out right now, and it looks like Technics is switching back to Hydroling because of the lack of gas, which should hurt him sooner or later.
I thought Technics was in a really good position there with those Ultralisks, but they just all got eaten up by the science vessels, and he just did absolutely nothing with that. And that's the kind of army you just can't replace. He was saving up a long time to get that many minerals, that much gas. Now going in for another attack, once again...
Project a little bit out of position.
Yeah. He's going to be forcing a lift, and going to be able to pick off some of these SCVs as they retreat. Plague going down once again. This one not so good though. Only hitting a handful of Marines. And it looks like the Hydras will be able to snipe the command center, which is nice. Continuing forward though with the Defilers, consuming a lot of these Zerglings. And now the SCVs are transferring back. Oh, they were just long distance mining. He never actually told them to mine over there. So that's going to cost them a couple extra SCVs, although they are able to clean up their units under the swarm, force the rest of them back. Man. And Project barely producing off of 3 factories, but he does not have a huge bank. Technics also really, or rather low money at least.
But now he has really good amount of drones at the mineral only and at the top left expansion. So unless those bases go down, he should have superior economy.
They may very well go down. His project is heading in that direction. Technics has an...
But there is a defiler.
Yes, there's a defiler, and that's the huge issue right now. Iridia going down on the Ultralisks and on the defiler, so Project can just pull back, and he doesn't engage quite yet. This is going to be a lot of damage done. The only defiler is dead, so now he just has to wait out that swarm. These Ultralisks are taking more damage, making it easier for the Marines to get them. Those are some scary mines, though. Yeah, I always get a little bit nervous when you see that many Marines by mines, but nothing to come.
Yeah, but the longer Project can't attack, the further ahead Technics gets because of his extra bases, and that Project lost his mineral only because now he's on one base which is close to mined out and still in the defense, which isn't really great. But that's a big M&M force.
Indeed it is. And it's kind of weird to say for M&M, but this is a force that Project really can't re-macro very quickly either. He does not have... Oh, losing another second vessel. He does not have a whole lot of barracks, and he doesn't have enough money to be constantly making out of the few barracks he has. So if he was to lose a lot of these in a bad engagement against defilers, it'd be really hard for Project to get back into this, and it might be that engagement. That's a great swarm going down, and an even better plague. Oh, it's going to force Project back, but all of his units are so injured. Those Hydralisks tear apart Plague Marines so easily, even hitting the vessel. It's going to stop this expansion from going down. All the Marines are retreating back to the tanks. He wants to keep those tanks alive, and it looks like he will. Command Center just barely living as well.
Check it. The tank splashed it.
I'm not sure if the tank splashed it or if he canceled it.
Okay. Yeah, he canceled it.
It could have been either.
Yeah. It's still bad for Project.
Oh, bottom right expansion going up for Technics. Oh, with the thing that's really kept Technics safe at this point isn't really his army, but just the fact that Project is constantly trying to defend. Oh, another great play going down. That Project is constantly having to defend his few expansions. With Technics expanding down in the bottom right, it means the Project can defend his own expansions while really taking out that one. But at the same time, there's really not another expansion Technics can take unless he can take center, which he is in fact doing. Complete trade. And even though Technics lost more units there and lost more expensive units in his Ultralisks, it's going to be a lot easier for him to make more. And he already has a pretty sizable force coming back up. Project going in, trying to take out this base, and as I said, it's going to be pretty easy for him to pick off. He just needs to target the ninth canal first. I don't know if he realizes it's a ninth canal warping in, or morphing in. Another huge attack from Technics, though. There are only tanks left. There's nothing to actually guard the tanks, so this is going to be a pretty easy fight for Technics. And with that, there's really no way for him to secure the mineral only. He might even lose this base, so there's not too much to defend it. Just that one lone siege tank at the moment. And I think that might be it for Project. Oh, man.
Yeah, he has just nothing anymore to fight against those many Hydras and Ultralisks, and yeah.
Technics kind of showing why he's so good at ZVP, doing a little bit here in ZVT of just his excellent macro, just constantly throwing units at his opponent until his opponent is forced to quit. There we go, GG from Project.
GG.
Technics takes it.
Yep.
So, that leaves us with certainly one more game, possibly more. Project has gone 0-3. So he will certainly be getting last, unfortunately for him. Still gets $100 though, for getting 8th place in ISL.
Isn't it 75?
Is it 75? I thought it was 100.
I don't.
No, it might be 75. And he goes 75. He gets a sum of money that is
Yeah.
somewhere between 75 and 100 inclusively.
Still more than me.
Yes, and more than me as well.
Yes.
But we have other players. Technics is 2-1. Michael is 2-0, and Zeke is 1-1.
Schnitzel.
Snitzel, not Zeke.
Yeah.
So
Next.
yeah, I'm hosting. If
So, sorry.
lost train of thought. If Michael wins, Michael will be 3-0. Technics is 2-1. Snitzel is 1-2. No tiebreakers. We have a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4. If Snitzel wins, then Snitzel's 2-1. Technics is 2-1. Michael is 2-1. We got to go another round. Everybody plays everybody.
That should be fun.
Everybody plays everybody else at least one more time. Possibly more. An indefinite possibility of games. But it all starts with Snitzel beating Michael.
I actually want Schnitzel to win now.
You want Snitzel to win?
Yeah.
I'm
Just for the tiebreakers.
I am sad that Snitzel did not show a better game against Technics. So I would like to see a rematch. I had such high hopes for that series. Or for that game. Alright. In the top left we have Snitzel.
Yep.
He is yellow.
Yeah.
And in the bottom right we have Michael as the orange Zerg. There we go. So, ZVP on Ground Zero. And this is the old version of Ground Zero, not the new version, so the minerals are in a completely reasonable spot. Makes it actually possible to defend against Mutalisks.
And you can drop on the cliff behind the natural.
And you can drop Lurkers or High Templar. You can actually drop a lot of things there. You can drop Reavers there. It's totally
Yeah,
a
it wouldn't
possibility.
make sense, but you could.
Yeah. It's like
No.
they done 70% of the time anyway. Why not just make it 100%? It's really not going to make too much of a difference in your game plan.
Oh, Michael goes for 9 speed.
Looks like it. Zeke. Excuse me, Snitzel, not Zeke. Ugh. Too many SZs. Snitzel. Yeah, he should be able to fit in the forge there. And then it's still a very big gap on the side of the ramp, which is generally undesirable. But this map has just such a big choke that it's hard to get a really good wall. It's a map where maybe you just kind of want to throw down an extra building there. Even though it won't be tight, it's a little bit better, so you don't need to have a string of 5 zealots trying to guard the run by.
I really want to see Snetzel's reaction when he sees the 9 speed, because he went gateway first. So I really want to see what he will do, because he should now be able to defend that. But because he scouted it and he placed the fort, but the cannon will be late. Oh, okay, it won't be late because the Lynx are back at home trying to catch the probe. So I guess Hero Probe deserves a mention.
That's really unfortunate that Michael chased that probe. A lot of Zerg players do that when they go 9 pool. They try to get that scouting probe without knowing what their opponent's doing. He hasn't actually scouted out his opponent, so he couldn't see that his opponent went gateway first and didn't have cannons up. Well, Michael's getting a lot of lings. It looks like he might wait for control group, maybe even more, and then go in with speed.
Yeah, the problem is he will hit 3 seals with 2 cannons.
Yeah.
But I will expect Michael to run into the base with 2 links, even though the lock will be very good.
2 links. We're going for an over-under of 2.5. Place your bets right now. I think that's a pretty good line to draw.
Okay, that seal cannon wall is pretty good.
No, change my mind. Over-under at 1.5. Over and under at 1.5.
Now Michael is in a problem. Has a really big problem now.
Yeah, he did not get anything done. He didn't even kill probes in the front. He didn't lose any of his lings. It's just that the lings was not going to help him out too much. I like the synchronicity of the lings. They all exploded out and checked every expansion, and are all now simultaneously collapsing in.
Michael just mines enough gas for a drop upgrade, and will most likely drop his speedlings into Snitzel's main, but
Oh yeah.
it's just gonna be speedlings.
Oh yeah.
And Snitzel already has 4 seals out, which in itself should be able to kill those links. Really nice. He even adds on a 3rd cannon. So yeah, the 3rd cannon should save his ass. Okay, a 4th cannon. Now that's really gonna make his natural save.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cheeses from Michael. I think the 1 base speedling drop is a new one. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've seen Michael go for the 1 base speedling drop. He's building a Hydrostead now, though.
Yeah.
But if he goes for the drop as soon as speed finishes, the Hydros will actually not be in time. Overlord drop is still coming in. I think I said Overlord speed. He's not getting Overlord speed. This is going to be a slow Overlord drop. The manly way to drop Overlords.
Oh. Those seals get some damage.
What kind of tech is he going for? He is Snitzel once again going for Citadel first and then the Stargate afterwards.
That probe!
It did not
Okay.
see the Overlord. The Overlords are actually going into a place where they can't see from the low ground anymore. Oh, getting a good surround, doing a lot of damage to the Zealots. If he can soften up the Zealots now, they're gonna the Zerglings are gonna have a much easier time when they're in the base.
Yeah.
But
That was really nice by Michael. And now Snitzel will see 2 Hydras, and those links will really wreak havoc right now.
Yep. Michael trying to find the optimum place to drop. Not too close, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be pretty safe here. And Snitzel... I guess Michael's going to get more than 2.5 lings in the base.
Yeah.
He has a lot of links in the base. Oh dear. Snitzel. Oh man, so many probes are going down. There are only 2 zealots pulled back. Oh, the other 2 are there. They're just not actually helping very much. And if Snitzel's not careful, he could actually lose all 4 zealots if he doesn't keep them packed up and it lets some of them get surrounded. Going to take out the pylon.
Oh, nice boon. But it's dead now. 4 zealots, I would say.
Yeah, that taking out 2 zealots right there. Can he stop the speed upgrade? Can he actually stop the speed upgrade? He can! He stopped the speed upgrade! Oh man, there is no more room for more green bars to go. Oh, we're gonna have to wait for that pylon.
Scout, Corsair, scout!
Oh,
Go.
Man.
You see speed Hydras.
I want to see how quickly that finishes after the pylon warps in, because it's gonna start as soon as the pylon finishes. And done. Like an 1/8 of a second. Or excuse me, 0.8 of a second. Oh man. Doesn't make a huge difference in the long run because it's not as if Snitzel's going to move out, but now he has to hold off the Hydralisk bust.
Michael doesn't try to Hydra bust him. he just went back now, and maybe he will go for a delayed bust, or he makes overload speed, so maybe he wants to drop in with speed hydras because he didn't show those amount of hydras.
I'm really surprised Snitzel's not putting any kind of detection on the right side of his base to look for more.
Yeah,
drops,
some pylon.
potentially. Yeah,
Oh.
pylon at the very least, but maybe even as just a couple of zealots patrolling back and forth. You could keep all the zealots by your wall, but it's not as if you need all 6 or 7 of your zealots all at the front right at this moment. And
What's that?
Just
Really
barely.
close.
Only one more hit on that Corsair. And Michael is hiding these Hydralisks up in the top
Yeah,
right.
I just wanted to say that. He's playing it really smart with hiding those hydras, so
And
he could surprise him with the hydra drop.
yep, there are 4 overlords on the way. Oh dear, and Snitzel's not scouting for it. Snitzel's not going to know about it once again. It is going to cost him that overlord. But these zealots are just chasing Hydralisks out in the middle of the map. Oh, it looks like the zealots are heading back. That would be amazing if Michael was actually able to bait the zealots out farther away from their own main. I think he might have too many Hydralisks, though. No, he doesn't. No, I think he has just about 16. It looked like more than 16 for a little bit. Okay, so it was 18. Yeah, that's just mean.
Yeah.
That's just mean. And he's going for a Templar tech. Storm's not going to be anywhere close to being done.
And now we don't see tiebreakers?
No,
Because I would say there is no way Snitzel would save his main or any of his tech with just 3 zealots, so yeah.
he even has the overlords here just in case if for some reason he was to go for Dark Templars, they actually wouldn't be able to do anything because of the overlords already in the base. Now these zealots are coming back. Michael, even micro against Hydralisks when it's probably not necessary, not going to take any losses. Trying to throw down some panic cannons, but they can probably kill off the Nexus before the cannons even warp in.
They don't even range the hydras. And Nexus goes down.
Yeah. Oh, Snitzel.
Even making lurker.
All the probes being pulled, but it's not as if they can drill anything. GG from Snitzel.
And we have a winner.
Michael goes 3-0 in the group. He will be getting first place of the 5th through 8 ranked people, otherwise known as 5th place. He will be getting 5th place, with Technics in 6th, Snitzel in 7th, and Project in 8th. So, well, that is it for the cast, as there are no tiebreakers.
Yep.
Next week are the finals. So, for the finals, we will have Zeke versus Doty, casted by myself and Sail. Not Sail and Elegant, but me and Sail. Excuse me.
Yep.
At 21 CET. Immediately after that, we will have the 3rd, 4th place game of Semi versus Bibian, casted by Sail and Elegant. And then the next day we have the super special show match of the winner of ISL versus mystery opponent. And I know who the possibilities for the mystery opponent is. I'm not allowed to say, but you want to watch.
And I hope it won't be Sail.
It will not be Sail.
Then it's an improvement.
Even though Sail is not casting it, and it totally could be Sail, it is not Sail.
Could it be some Korean?
It could be some Korean.
Huh?
I will say nothing more than it could be a Korean who you know. Nothing more.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'll see one more thing. it's very likely that the show match will be better than the finals. Just throwing that out there. To say nothing about the finals, I think Dodie is a very good player. I'm looking forward to the show match. Alright. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for coming and co-commentating with me, Bakuyu.
No problem.
Good luck in ISL 4, man.
I hope I can train more than 4 ISL 3 because I've trained like nothing.
So do I.